Welcome, welcome, welcome to Straight Talk with Shelia. Thank you so much for your commitment in meeting me here on a weekly basis. I am still on the journey of helping us to continue to build our personal power muscle. And last week I spoke about pain. Pain is your teacher. And as I was going through my bookshelf, I was redecorating my bookshelf, taking everything down and dusting. I came across some notes that caused me to want to do this follow-up video. And the notes was from a book that I read some time ago called A Woman's Code. It's by Sophia Nelson. And the three things that I want to share this evening or today, wherever you are, whatever time it is, what I want to share with you today is what are those knots in your life? Not these knots, not that. The knots in your life that you say, I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to do that. So that's the first point I want us to look at. Then the other thing I want us to look at is how did these knots come about? How did they come about? And how do we untie these knots in our lives? So I'm going to teach. So I do have some notes here with me, and I want to refer back to them just to make sure I'm giving you all the nuggets that help me and things that I garnered from it so that I'm passing it on to you. So when we untie something, we're loosing and letting it go free. We're giving it space. When we cut, we're cutting it off and say, you know what, that's it, I'm done. So there is a proverb that says, why cut or never cut what you can untie. Never cut what you can untie. And when I came across that proverb, it caused me to think about a better way to have relationship management, how I manage my relationship. And these are things that you can apply to yourself as well, how you manage your relationship, because there may be things in your relationship that you need to cut and get rid of 100%, and there are things that you need to untie to just provide space and opportunity to give you space, and then you can come back together. So what are some of your knots? You might be saying, I'm not skinny enough, I'm not worthy, I'm not strong enough, I'm not rich enough, I'm not speaking to that person because of this reason or that reason. Whatever those knots are in your life, today we're going to look at them in a way that hopefully once you hear this and you apply it, it will make sense and it will help you. So how did these knots come about in your life? They could have been put there by parents. They could have been put there by a teacher. They could have been put there by a significant other or a spouse. They could have been put there by you. Yes, we put knots in our way, and we've got to untie these knots in order to move forward. So how do we untie these knots? We untie them through forgiveness. We've got to forgive ourselves, and we have to forgive others. And when we forgive ourselves and then we forgive others, that is the order of helping us to become healthier, and so we can move forward in our relationship. When you untie something, you allow yourself space to recalculate, space to reevaluate and see if you get help and I get help, then we can come back together again. If there's a possibility, when you untie something, you're allowing space to come in between. When you cut something off, you're saying, that's it, I'm at the end of my rope, I'm done, it's over. And when you cut something, believe me, there is no guarantee that trying to put it back together will happen. For example, if you cut a branch off of a tree, you can use duct tape, you can use super glue or whatever, it will never get back together again. So we've got to exercise caution, we've got to exercise proper process when we are going to cut a relationship versus untying. I know we talked about pain last week, and based on that, this is why I'm doing this today. So cutting reflects that something is final. This is at the end of it. So we have to make sure we exercise caution and thoughtfulness. And we've got to use common sense when we're making this decision to cut the relationship and be over with it because of this reason or that reason or that situation. Now, when you untie, you're untying gives the person or the situation another chance, a second chance. Who here needs a second chance? I do. Every day of my life, I need a second chance. So if we want second chances in our lives, we have to offer second chances. And second chances also give us an opportunity to exercise grace. I don't know if you have been pulled over by a police driving down the road. You knew you were driving faster than you needed to based on the speed limit for that highway, that neighborhood, or that road that you were on. And when you were pulled over, when the police officer came up to your car, you wanted grace. Yes. So because we want grace for ourselves, we have to make sure we offer and practice giving grace. We also need to remember that people are in our lives for a certain time. They may be in our lives for a lifetime, they may be in our lives for a season, and they may be in our lives just for a reason. And whenever people are in our lives for a season or a reason, things may happen. And it could be simple and it could be huge, but something happened that severed that relationship. And when that relationship is severed, it is over because that person was in your life just for a season or a reason. But if that person is in your life for a lifetime, we have to understand that we have to offer forgiveness in order for that lifetime relationship to continue to survive and grow. Now, forgiving someone for a wrong they did, we're not saying, okay, you were right and you did a good thing for me. No, you're not saying that. You're saying, I no longer will carry this hurt or carry this pain. I'm forgiving you, I'm forgiving me so that I can go on to have a productive life. We have to know where our value comes from and our worth. And once we understand that our value and worth comes from our Creator, we know that everything that we need is down on the inside of us. We were created with all the things that we needed inside of us. So when we choose to forgive, we're saying, I am no longer going to stay stuck in my past. I'm going to take action to make sure that I release myself from those knots that someone else passed on to me, whether it's a parent, whether it's a teacher or a significant other, or whether it was you who said, I am not going to do this, I'm not going to do that because somebody did or said something that hurt my feelings. If you were abused physically or emotionally, it is okay to practice social distancing as well as physical distancing. But there's one thing that you cannot do. You cannot go on with unforgiveness. You've got to forgive that person who hurt you. You may have to start with you. Forgive yourself for whatever blame that you took, for whatever blame that was passed on to you. Forgive yourself first, and then you can forgive others. And by you forgiving others, that will give you an opportunity to cut those knots out of your life. Forgiveness is beneficial not just to you, but all those around you. In the season we're in right now, there's an opportunity for us to sit down and think about relationship that we might have untied but never had an opportunity to reconnect. This is a time that you can reconnect and think about ways to grow and to become better. It is important that as we move forward, we know whether or not to untie the knots in our lives or to cut them. And when you cut them, it is gone and may never be able to be put back together again. So for the pain that you've experienced, it is important to be able to take the lesson from that pain, understand that pain is your teacher, and to move forward by using forgiveness as your bridge. I am your coach. I am your sister, pointing light to the treasure that I know is deep inside of you. Make sure that you untie those knots in your life today. No longer say, I'm not worthy, I'm not enough, I'm not this, I'm not that. You are everything you say that you are. So speak life over you today and untie where you need to untie and cut where you need to cut. But be careful, use caution when you have got to cut. Use common sense, use thoughtfulness. Have a great evening. Have a great day. God bless you. Stay safe. Bye bye.